again, as we always do, think about today and just know, however it is you're turning up tonight, it's perfectly fine. So, part of our practice of being a benefit to others is actually to work on ourselves. And the first step there is just to accept where you are at any particular time, rather than thinking you should be doing or thinking or being or feeling something else. So we all have that thing that we think we should be doing more, or we think we should have done something differently, but we have to just move forward and accept who we are in the moment without judgment. So let's just settle into our meditation posture while I fix the mic. There we are. And check your feet and sits bones, shoulders aligned with your hips, and lengthen the spine. Just put some space in between those vertebrae. Head is slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. And if your eyes were open, you'd be looking at a spot a couple of inches in front of you. And relax the jaw and the mouth and the tongue. If you're meditating for a long time, they advise to rest it at the tip of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. But for this short meditation, it's probably not necessary. I mean, you can if you want, but this is really the advice given for if you're meditating for hours on end. So bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, the jaw, and the back of the head, back of the neck. And relax the shoulders, the shoulder blades. Just allow them all to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly, limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes, and bring the mind to the breath. Just noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. If there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow them with your mind. And then bring the mind back to the breath. And again, just notice what's arising in your mind. What feelings, what thoughts, as we move towards 2023, what is it that you are wanting to leave behind in 2022? And what would you like to move forward with in 23? What new opportunities, new ideas, and new mind would you like to bring forward? So just notice what's arising in the mind and try not to judge or have opinions. Just allow the thoughts to arise and abide and fall. And try and get in touch with this silent space inside you. And this place is always there, whether you're in the traffic, sitting in the bus stop, in the middle of a classroom. You have the capacity to be still while surrounded by chaos. So let's bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, our spouses and children, dear friends. ones we find a little bit difficult, and then those ones who are total strangers to us. Bearing in mind they could change place at any time. And maybe you can bring to mind some examples from your own life where that has in fact happened. Maybe it happened this year. And then all these people are equal. They're the same as us in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering. And they all have this unbelievable capacity for this enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this purification practice this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And then also, again, as I've been saying, if there's someone that is dear to you or someone that you know of that needs some kind of help and wouldn't think to come this evening, you can just bring them, put them by your side and imagine that they're there with you doing this practice also. So we just start by remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And the purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we can equally change it by creating positivity with our mind instead. So we start with the power of regret. So regret is not guilt. Regret is this kind of adult responsible attitude of, okay, so I did this thing and I have deep regret in my heart. And the reason we have regret, the logic behind it is based on karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, past actions. Having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we don't really want that. So we know from present suffering, we don't want that. So logically, we want to remove those karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, and because I do not want the future suffering, I'm sick of suffering. And we can also regret here our delusions, our anger, attachment, and the rest are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva is above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine this is your teacher, your guru, manifesting in this form for your benefit. So he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this, or the lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And it has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then perhaps in general, all beings we have harmed since beginningless time, and try and develop a wish in your heart for them to be free from suffering. And then think about those people, sentient beings even maybe, who've harmed you, and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you will result in suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. So we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dino Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dino Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe. So now be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And the next is the purification of the speech, and Vajrasattva again very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So again, feel so incredibly happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So the next is a purification of the mind. Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you just flick on a switch. You'll notice that instantly dispels the darkness. So we always think about when we walk into a room and we turn on the light, we've made the light, but actually we've dispelled the darkness. So it's just a slightly different way of thinking about it. So it's the same here, you know. The light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of the mind, so all the depression and attachment and neediness and anger and resentment and jealousy and bitterness and not feeling enough, all of this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, pours into you, fills you completely, and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tira meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So now feel that you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment are removed. So next we come to the power of resolve, and the fourth and a very crucial step in the purification process is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind, or to refrain. Start thinking about refraining at least. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm is kind of like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind. So, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to change these habits that we have until we make a decision that that's kind of what we want to do. So think carefully and decide to refrain from something for maybe a day or 30 seconds or overnight while you're sleeping, whatever you can manage. And this gives us some strength to change, this determination. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. So next, Rinpoche does recommend to meditate a little bit on bit emptiness. So we think in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, try and place your mind there for a little while. And we can also think that perhaps the way things appear to me, the way I perceive things, is more about me than about the way things actually are. So let's just dedicate all the positive energy you've created doing this evening, doing this practice, to all those people of your life, to all sentient beings, to yourself as you move along your spiritual path, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Kalamza Rinpoche. O Tup Shul Chang Shin Jam Gon Galloway. Tenzin Kyong Pelway, Kunza Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kurway, Legmon to Droop, Dog Sog Dulje, Gondu Jab Ten Show. Palama Ursul, Venerable One, to whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. Vigeshi Sherab, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay. And a couple of people came along as well. Paloma, nice to see you. And Janice, didn't see you there before. Okay, everybody, lots of love. Thank you so much for hosting. Thanks for all the people that were watching the waiting room as well.